So Freedom Summer was one of the nation's largest youth-led movement that took place in Mississippi in 1964. In the years prior to Freedom Summer, there was increasing violence against the civil rights movement in this country, and specifically in the South, in Mississippi, where people were demanding their basic right to vote and were unable to access this. The Council of Federated Organizations decided to embark on a large campaign to send students from all over the country, including white middle-class students, to Mississippi to work alongside Black Mississippians who were already doing this courageous work for their own civil rights and were able to establish freedom schools, community centers, and increase voter registration in the state of Mississippi.
Freedom Summer was particularly inspiring because not only were the youth in Mississippi taking agency over protecting their right to vote and fighting for it, they also managed to organize volunteers from all over the country. Thousands of students from non-Southern states flew down to Mississippi to be there for a summer to help organize and register voters and learn about the issues there. The movements today can really benefit from that because we have more resources than ever. We have the internet, we have ways of communicating with one another. At the end of the day, getting out the vote, getting folks registered, and just being civically engaged needs to be a 365-day effort, but also one that happens on the ground and in person.
During the summer of 1964, there was a great need for legal support, research, and protection. LDF, alongside many civil rights organizations at the time, came together, and over 150 lawyers, including 3 LDF cooperating attorneys in Mississippi, came to represent Freedom Summer workers and volunteers. They were often being harassed by local white residents as well as state and local law enforcement, often being charged with criminal syndicalism and illegal distribution of pamphlets, as well as just being arrested without just cause. In all, LDF took on over 100 cases that represented over 250 Freedom Summer workers to ensure that they could continue on their campaign to fight for justice for all Mississippians. There were many civil rights leaders that participated in the 1964 Freedom Summer movement, including LDF's very own Marian Wright Edelman, who at the age of 25 went on to direct the LDF office in Jackson, Mississippi, and was the first Black woman admitted to the Mississippi bar. During her time with LDF, she helped lead the legal defense on the front lines during Freedom Summer.
Access to the ballot is under threat more than ever today. We are seeing all kinds of attacks from the beginning of the democratic process, such as registration or voter eligibility, to the end of the democratic process, as we saw in the 2020 elections, attacks on certification. The Black Voters on the Rise project at Legal Defense Fund aims to build on the spirit and the advocacy of the elders from Freedom Summer. What that looks like today is that we are in Mississippi 365 days a year, working on all angles of both protecting and expanding access to the democratic process. We are blocking attacks through litigation, through legislation, but we're also building Black political power by making sure people are showing up to their local official meetings. We're training them to speak out at those meetings and also to monitor their elections and build a record for how they can continue to improve upon their right to vote in Mississippi. Gen Z are more posed than any other generation to really push the bounds of how our right to vote is protected and expanded. On the 60th anniversary of Mississippi Freedom Summer, it is more relevant than ever to have all generations learn about the history, but also think about how we can really have a playbook that was similar to the youth-led movement back then. It's Freedom Summer all year long.